He- Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Larissa. I'm an event planner at Reactor, joining you from Brazil. Before we start, I have some quick housekeeping. Please take a moment to read our code of conduct. We seek to provide a respectful environment for both our audience and presenters. While we absolutely encourage engagement in the chat, we ask that you please be mindful of your commentary, remain professional and on topic. This session was previously recorded and will be available to view on demand on our YouTube channel. But you can interact in the chat because our amazing speakers will be there to answer all of your questions. With that, I'll now turn it over to our speakers for today. Thank you all and welcome, Bruno and Pablo.
Yes, hey, hello everyone. Welcome to another session of where we are going to build, we keep building OpenClawNet in .NET. It's kind of a learning session and more. My name is Bruno. I'm part of the DevRel team in GitHub. I'm focused mostly on .NET and AI. I'm super happy also to be here with Pablo. And before you introduce yourself, Pablo, let me start saying that, yes, we are recording this. And the thing that I'm going to miss most is to have the pop-up here messages showing people, when we show messages from people joining from Colombia, Brazil, Spain, all of other places. So please let us know where are you joining from in the comment, because we are going to chat that. But hey, Pablo, please.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Folks, I'm Pablo Lopez. I am a cloud advocate with Bruno. I am in the same team as Bruno. And yes, GitHub, Microsoft, everything now. It's kind of crazy, all that. And yeah, so I am usually the comments guy that tries to support you folks as we go. So please, if you have any questions, if you want to talk about where you're coming from, how can we support you as the session goes, please talk to us. We really need to support you folks as we build this amazing project. This session will be recorded, yes, but me and Bruno are in the comments answering any questions that you may have.
Yes, and by the way, I need to also thanks to the Reactor team, Larissa and more, that they were super flexible to do this, because I have a last minute change for whatever. So I'm going to join from the plane, crossing fingers to have a very good internet connection, or with my luck, probably from the airport, because I think my last 10 flights were delayed, canceled, and more. So why no in this one? This one is being also rescheduled. But hey, let's start. Let's go back. Let's go to our stuff, which is OpenClaw.net. So a couple of things, it's OpenClawNet.net. I always change the name. A couple of things before we start. So Pablo will probably see that we have here 94 slides for today.
Wow.
Yes. Oh, I close it. Yes.
Oh.
You know what? I don't think we are going to do 94 slides.
Yeah, it's impossible, man.
It's impossible. But hey, this is because we generated this with based on the content that we have. And the other day I was having a conversation with a couple of students that they are following the sessions, and they said to me, how we can learn more, how we can have more materials, how we can have this. And I said, you know what? Here, if you want, you have everything. So today we are going to talk about tools. We are going to talk about skills. We're going to talk about memory and more. And it's all documented here, thanks to Copilot and more. But it's all here. So you can, if you want to do something, you can take a look here and go deep in this. I don't know. What do you think, Pablo?
I think it makes total sense. And one of the things I really want to talk about is that we are focusing so much on delivering the practice here rather than like a given theory. Because here's the thing: theory, you can read it. You can go to Generative AI for Beginners.net. Let's plug in the GenAINet link, and then let's put everything we need. But we can learn much on GenerativeAI.net. But here's the thing: saying is one thing, but practicing is another. That's why I didn't tend to put everything on this. But if you want, now you can download the slides and read more, which is really nice.
Oh, that's a good idea. I need to double check if this library has some kind of export to PDF, export to, there should be there. Okay, so that's for session
That
4.
is, I'm going to tell you a fun fact, Bruno. I actually gave a talk for TDC and Sao Paulo, and I did the same techniques as you showed me. Thank you so much. It improved my life 100 times. But here's the fun fact: they actually searches and downloads a library with Python that you can actually do PDF and PowerPoint.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, we have something to play around for next week. I love it.
We
Yes, we need
do
to do something like that.
100%.
And it's also, I am doing this with a couple of JavaScript libraries. I prefer to do Python, and that's it. I am not going to talk bad about our web friends and more because we
No,
love
don't talk about the
Dan,
the guys, the
yes,
folks,
Dan,
Bruno.
Chris, Julia, they are all amazing. But going back to ours today. So where we seen in the last couple of sessions, we basically talk at the beginning about how we can build the chat using our main Microsoft extension for AI libraries, Microsoft Extension Framework for the framework, Aspire for the coordination, and how we extend all of that and glue it all together to support this .NET version of OpenClaw. The next session, and by the way, we also do JSON for streaming, SQLite for the database, and more. The next session, session 2, we talk about tools, 2 different types of tools. Code-based tools, where we have an interface, iTools, that we can use and code our own tools, so you can create your own tools. There was a full approval process also there, and of course, MCP tools. And in the MCP tools, we take advantage of the standard C# SDK, MCP SDK, which is super evolved right now. It's also in B1 and more, and it's maintained, open source, and more. So the key pieces as components here that if you want to see that we have today are everything is an agent, so we have Microsoft Agent Framework. And we have questions about Microsoft Agent Framework all the time, Pablo, yes?
Yeah, absolutely. People are asking us about Microsoft Agent Framework every single time. And it's a pleasure to talk about it because it's such a nice library. Not saying bad things about Sepetsukordo, AutoGen, on other libraries, but man, Math is incredible.
Yes, and is the key thing. So, an example, in the last 3 weeks, 4, I can't remember how, but we have the release of the GA. Then we have new features. We are trying to realize what is everything's happened, how we can also adapt OpenClawNet to be also in a good parity as today to this. So everything that is new in Mason Framework, it will be reflected here. That's for sure. It's not today, maybe tomorrow. So it's going to be here. That said, at the same time, we also try to be compliant with Aspire and Foundry. So we try to do the Aspire every day. So if I go here, open a new chat and do Aspire, update, self. Do we have an Aspire version, new version today? Yes, we have one. There is new versions every day. So we are doing this. We are trying to keep everything up and running with the latest Microsoft Agent Framework, Aspires, and not today, but the next session we are going to start to deploy. We are also going to see that we also support the latest in Foundry. If you want to deploy this to Foundry, or even if you want to deploy this in the Docker Compose. So that's part of our job to also be aware of that. And today, after talking about all of this, we get to a point that we have Aspire start. So we can start to talk how we are going to do. So this is what we're going to see today super fast. Talk about tools. We created a couple of tools to support and to have a better development process. We improve a lot of your feedback in the tool Collins updates. We implemented the skills, and we are going to see how they work. We also work in a concept that I've seen this in 3 different ways. In OpenClaw, in NemoClaw, and here. And let's do something. I am going to go here because we have our agents working here, and I am going to do a clear. And after a clear, I am going to ask, can you explain briefly the difference for the local storage implementation between OpenClaw, NemoClaw, and OpenClawNet? Choose the best agent or agents to do this. Needs to be short and direct. So one thing that I did last week is I literally trained a couple of agents who are experts on NemoClaw, experts on OpenClaw, and of course, one that is following our OpenClaw.net. So at some moments, we are going to see here. Let me change the resolution so I can do Zoom. we are going to see here that is going to choose a couple of agents, the ones that we have for all of these, and they is going to ask Copilot CLI to talk between each other to get the difference and to explain the difference. It's going to take some time because it's running with big model. We also have a lot of information in the memory, but when we finish here, we are going to see how the difference are between these three implementations. NemoClaw, a lot of people ask about NemoClaw, so we have NemoClaw. We also have from NVIDIA NemoClaw, by the way, OpenClaw, the standard one from Peter, and our implementation. So let's wait a little and see that. Besides that, we also have a memory implementation, not implemented, not fully implemented. We have a part, but not fully there. And we have a lot of demos, as usual. If someone wants to learn more, there are demos here that we can use. But let's start with a couple of extra tools. And by the way, Pablo, in a non-planned, because we roll like that, in a non-planned session, half an hour ago, 2 hours ago, I can remember, we were hosting our .NET and AI office hours in Discord, in the Microsoft Foundry server. By the way, you are all invited to join if you want there.
Link in the comments. Link in the
comments, yes. And Pablo asked me, what we can do, what we can talk. And I say, hey, I can show you how I created 2 tools, Ollama tools, Aspire tools, extending this to have a better developer experience. So we have here the difference. An OpenClawNet used for storage, not public available, OpenClaw. This is not my question. It's different what I want to do, but as you can see here, we have the agent token about this. And somewhere here, we have it didn't tell which agent is one, but we can ask about which agent is the one that is working with that. But besides that, going back here. So tools, why we need extra tools? So created a couple of tools to support us. One of the tools is the Ollama Monitor. And what is the Ollama Monitor? The Ollama Monitor is a SIS tool. By the way, it's open source, so the links are going to be available there. And the whole idea is that we have a tool that tells us in real time in the SIS tray is for Windows, but if someone is interested, we can figure out how to create this for other OS. But it's going to give us basically a sense of, hey, it's Ollama running. Hey, it's running, which model is running. So let me maximize this and let me launch Ollama tool. Ollama tool can be installed with one line in Windows, .NET tool install, and then call Ollama Mon. So I am going to go here, go there, and do, not space, Ollama Mon. And after a couple of seconds, we are going to see here that we have Ollama, and Ollama is starting. No, not reachable. We didn't find Ollama. And this is the key part of Ollama Mon. We have kind of a small mini windows that say, hey, Ollama is not reachable, Ollama is not there. So if I launch Ollama is going to start to load and more, and we are going to start to see here that the CPU and the memory are starting to consume some resources. This machine doesn't have a GPU, so we are not going to have GPU working here. No problem, we can live with that. But the whole idea, what I like about this, is that after a couple of seconds, when Ollama loads the model, is running, we have this, but we don't have any model loading. So if I go here and I say, hey, why the sky is blue? And I am using
blue, Bruno.
Yes, why the sky is blue? Yes, and I'm using 5.4 mini. We are going to see here that, hey, there it is, 5.4 mini is running there. And I know it's kind of small, trust me. And I also mentioned this before. I also put a weird kind of chart saying how much memory, how much resources are using there. But the flickering, when I do a remote desktop, I have some flickering that I need to fix there. But hey, I have 5.4 min. If I change to another model, choose a model, Pablo, which one do you like? You're a fan of Quinn, yes?
Really, I would say there are some models I truly like. One of the models I really like. Do you have Gemma easily there? If not, let's go with Quen.
Yes, I have Gemma. Okay, I have here Gemma 4. Let's create a new chat and let's ask a question here for something.
You can ask why this sea is blue.
Let's ask for Gemma, and what we are going to see in the model loaded window is that we have
There
the
you
two
go.
models loaded, Gemma and Phi. Why we have two? Because this is how Ollama works. If I go here back to the console, and by the way, let me move this one out.
I love the name of Ollama. The Ollama. It's like Ollama Mon. Looks like a Digimon, Bruno.
Oh yes, I didn't
You
realize.
did. You transform Ollama into a Digimon, Bruno. Oh no.
Hey, I didn't realize all that, but yes, you are true. You are right. So when we see the processes that our Llama is running, we see here that we have two processes, the Gemma 4 and basically the Phi 4 mini. This is basically what the tool is doing. It's running command line and it's taking a look, is Ollama online or not? And if it's online, it's trying to get the CPU, the memory, and more, and then using the Ollama PS to get access here. And that's it. There is no more magic here. Why did I want to do this? Why did I want to create this? Why we needed this in the project? It's because the project is big. And remember that one of our core mandates at the beginning was to support local models with Foundry Local, with Ollama, and with the LM Studio. We are assuming right now that everything that works with Ollama will work. If I'm using 5.4 mini, an example here with Ollama, I will have a very, very similar, if not the same results also using Foundry Local. So I am going to keep testing with Ollama and then implement the Foundry Local one. So when I was working, when Pablo was working, when the team was working with this, sometimes I really can't figure out if I am switching to one agent to the other. Remember that the whole idea of OpenClaw is that the agents were all alone all together. And I don't know, are we using Ollama or not? And what do I need to do that? I need to open a terminal, do Ollama PS and see what's happening. Ollama doesn't have here any kind of anything. I can open Ollama and doesn't have anything, but I can open Ollama and take a look at the logs, but this is going to open. So, hey, small application like this, I think for us, in example, as a team, when we are working in this environment, adds value on the sense that, yes, we are using this. And by the way, this is still having the two processes, but in 1 minute, the 5.4 minute is going to be unlocked for the memory, and it's going to be free, and the Gemma still going to be there. So it's
I would argue as well is that having an application like that makes you to just look at things at a glance. It's not only like you don't need to open the logs or write a command. It's like you can take a look at a glance at multiple things at once, which improves like the ability to answer and take a look what is consuming the resources so much easier and quicker. That is almost a no-brainer. In my opinion, it's incredible.
Yes, it's useful, and again, it's not for everyone. It's not probably going to use a lot. It's a full open window here. You can also open the kind of a more complete one with more details, super ugly,
Wow,
whatever.
look how fancy.
But
Yeah,
this
Bruno.
is a sticky notes process, a sticky notes window that is going to be there, and that's it. And a couple of seconds later, when 50, we still have a lot of time, it's going to unload one. I know what models are loaded. I want to know what is my memory doing. And again, when I am running tests, sometimes I don't know, oh my God, what are we doing? I'm running tests in Azure, I'm running tests with Ollama or more. At least with this, oh, yes. Okay, I'm using Ollama. Which model? By the way, not all the models are as good as others. So this is kind of one way to do this. The other tool that we created, and again, remember that we have everything is open source and more. This is installed. You want to do this, you can do auto start if you want on Windows because it's has to do this. This is what we have or we are supposed to have, is the Aspire Monitor. And the story of the Aspire Monitor is very similar. Everything is running with Aspire here. Of course, I am not going to have 2 or 3 or 4 Aspire running at the same time. But is Aspire running or not? We can see that 5.4 leaves Ollama right now. So is Aspire running? If it's running, I need to go to the dashboard, take a look at my web, start to the web, or go to the scheduler. So how do we do that? So again, we have here another tool, Aspire Monitor, that basically watch a working folder. This is the important part because we are working with Aspire in a specific folder. And when it found Aspire, it's going to show you, yes, Aspire is running, and these are the resources that you have, and you can pinpoint which resources do you want to use later. So it's very easy. If Ollama The name of Ollama was Ollama Mon. The Aspire name, Pablo. Can you guess what is going to be the Aspire?
Oh no, it's Aspiremon.
Yes, I did again. I have another Digimon tool
Yeah,
here.
you have now two Digimon tools
I
now.
have two Digimon
Congratulations.
tools right now, and we can see here at the bottom Aspire
Yeah,
that is not running.
Aspire Monitor is not
If
running.
I go to the settings, we will see here the pulling
Yeah,
interval, because it's doing literally the same. Every 5 seconds, it's checking what's happened and the working folder. And then I have here a mini windows that is going to filter all of the stuff that I have. But if I go here and see in this working folder is Aspire is working or not, and I do Aspire process, we will see that we don't have any Aspire. I am going to open the Aspire mini window here also, very similar to the other one, that we see that we don't have anything here. Let me put this one on top. Let's organize this a little. And let's start Aspire. The challenge with
Aspire start.
yes, the challenge with Aspire Start is that for this specific OpenClaw, it's going to take 60 seconds, 90 seconds, and I just change a couple of things. So it's going to rebuild everything. It's going to do more, but it's the same as before. Now with this, I am going to have in my sys tray, and I am a Windows user, so I am used to do this. I am going to have in the sys tray basically kind of a visual notification that Aspire is running or not running. You can't see there because sharing a screen and more. Maybe if I do something like this is better, but
Yeah,
in the Spire is here we can see that Spire is not running and is gray, and Ollama is running is also in green. If we have some errors, we are going to see changes in color and icons and more. Spire started is there. We see that
look at it.
yes, the monitor started, and we have access, of course, to the dashboard, because this is where we spent all of the time starting the
Wow, it actually includes like the token for login. That's actually really
yes,
nice.
that was a tricky one to get the token.
Bruno, I do have a question for you. It is
Yes.
more as a big Aspire question. What is the difference between Aspire Run and Aspire Start?
Oh, that's a great question. For people who are new to Aspire and more, Aspire created all of these CLI tools. So if we go here, let me organize this so it's better. If I do here, Aspire help, we see that we have tons of commands here. Tons of commands, which I call CLI tools. I don't know if this is the correct names, but I need to talk with Damian, with David, and Maddie. They are going to be mad with me. Even Aaron is going to be mad with me if I am not doing
Yeah,
this
probably.
correct. But they create all of these so we can use, in example, Aspire in skills. We can use Aspire with commands in tools and more, like the tools that I just built. And the main difference between start and run is that when you do Aspire run, it's going to run in your console, and it's going to get your console stuck there in the process until you press Ctrl-C, and it's going to stop. So Aspire run is going to basically lock the process where you are running. On the other side, Aspire start Aspire, and then set Aspire host started and give you back the control. So it's going to start in a different thread. You're going to have a new process ID here, 26552,
The
and
PID,
then
yeah.
go back to you. So the main difference right now, if I close here, and I say Aspire stop, an example, let's stop Aspire, and the monitor should, so 3, 2, 1, tack, magic, stop it there it is.
Wow, look, the timing.
Yes. So if I do Aspire run, the Aspire is going to be running in that location. So we are going to have that, but I am not going to get back control to the console. So this command is not CLI friendly because my console is going to be stuck here until I get out of the Aspire run. So I need to open another console and more. So the start is what we want to use. And again, it's going to take a couple of seconds because this is OpenClawNet. It's basically...
It is a big project. It is
yes,
a
and
big
it's rebuilding
project.
everything again. I don't know, maybe I was changing something in the back. So, okay, it's building, starting the dashboard. So there it is. It's running. It's opening the dashboard. So I like it. It's doing a lot of things by me, but the console is there. The only way that I can go back to my console logs if I press Ctrl-C, which is going to stop Aspire.
Oh no, RIP Aspire.
Yes. So in order to do this, you have Spire start. In order to avoid this, where it's going to do the same one more time. Sorry, I think this is the best that I start and stop Aspire more times in a live demo than never, but it's going to start Aspire. And once Aspire is started, by the way, Aspire started doesn't mean that everything is working. It's basically the host starting and starting to warm up and start all of the resources. So we need to check all of that. But once the host is running and managing all of the resources, we have control back to the console.
Yeah. Thank you, Bruno, for that. I actually have a lot of things to say about Aspire, but I know focus here is or OpenClawNet tools right now. But man, I could ask you all day about Aspire.
Yes, so here we are with Aspire, and the cool thing about us is I can do Aspire, an example, describe. I'm Aspire PS, and we see Aspire working, and I can also do something like, I think it was something like this. Let me do the help, because I can do format. There it is. Format JSON, and I am going to have this response when I do Aspire PAs, when I'm going to have a JSON with the path, the process ID, the CLI ID, and the URI of the dashboard with the token to do this. So this is what we want to do. And if I do describe, it's going to show me all of the resources with the endpoints and more. And I also have a describe with JSON that's going to give tons of information. So that's why instead of showing everything here, I have the web and the schedule, which are part, the two that I am working of the settings. I say here, hey, only show me the web and the scheduler. If I add another one here, the channels, in example, I say channels, website. I think it's need to type it well, website.
Yeah.
And I say, okay, there it is. It's the channel website where I can also see the URL because I quickly want to go here. Quickly want to go to the OpenClaw and start to work here. So, hey, those are the two tools that I want to show you today. Okay, Ollama is running, but no models. Yes, this is what to expect about this. Talking about this, last week we showed that we have some, let me create a new chat. We have some, oh, I don't know if our agent is working fine or not, but we have tools right now. So I can say something like fetch http/https bruno.com and get the title of the page. So I can do something like this. And because I am using fetch, this is going to use a tool. And by default, unless I change it, this should ask me, hey, do you want to use a tool? So, oh, no, I think it's automatically, oh, there it is. So I want to use web fetch. I will say approve, yes. And it's going to do the web fetch. And then it's going to do the window convert, the markdown convert. Oh, because it's going to get the title and more. So it's going to use another tool and then the browser. And I have a lot of those. So at the end, it's going to give me, yes, web fetch and more. But okay, I didn't want to show that. What I wanted to show a couple of things. Oh, let's do remember. So this is implemented. Last time it wasn't implemented. We talk about security, but I haven't implemented this. So let's remember all of this and work. But we see here, we see that we have an agent activity. And the agent activity is showing information about what's the tools that we were working, what the tools that we were using and more. And this is because it was super important to try to say, to try to get info and to show how it's working. So you can have all of these, you can copy, you can export, and you have tons of information, kind of a console of logs and more. And yes, it's not going to work like this. And it's answering our matey world. It's answering like a pirate. And you're probably wondering, why is answering like a pirate? Why do we have a pirate boat here? Like an example, hi, let's do a new one and more. So if we start to talk about with an agent, hey, matey, what treasure? So
what is thinking today?
Yes. Why we have a pirate? Okay, so let's move forward to our topic of today. That is, okay, we finished the tool calling updates. Again, you can see here everything that we have, including the formatter, more sanitizers, end-to-end, tons of slides, so people can start to look.
But you can read all of them on our website.
Yes, and it's public. We are going to share the links. Remember that everything is public right now, so it's all available for everyone. And Pablo is going to help me to see how we can export this to
I'm answering your comments now, folks.
questions and more. So let me switch back to a presenter more so people can read better. So let's talk about skills.
Yeah.
And what is a skill? It's a Markdown file initially that have a set of instructions. Initially, it doesn't have any code, doesn't have anything, and it can be stored in a folder organization. And this is the ABC of a skill, where you have a name and description. You can have tags, and you need to have a body also. You can have tags if you want, you can have more, but name, description, and a body. And the way that the skills works is that similar to MCP, when someone is interacting with an agent or with a large language model, and one of the questions is related to one of the skills, the large language model, the agent is going to invoke that skill. And when they invoke the skill, initially they only have the name and description, they are going to load everything else from the skill. And the skill is going to probably have more context, instructions. They can have scripts. They can have kind of templates. It's a full process. And the nice part about this is that, one, they are fully supported by Microsoft Agent Framework. Remember that we have tons of questions about Agent Framework, and they support right now the Agent Framework team. We support the skills. So we have here the skill structure where you have your main skill MD file, but then you can have scripts, you can have reference, you can have assets. There is a full definition for a script. This is the format, very similar of what we've seen before, but the cool part is that we can provide the skills to an agent, and this is OpenClawNet, so we are doing this in C#, and we basically have the agent skill provider, and we have a file agent skill provider. So we can say, hey, agent, load the skills from this folder, and everything that is there is going to be available for the skill. It's super cool because skills are everywhere. Going out of our comfort zone, they become very popular in cloud code, because a lot of people didn't want to use so many MCP tools. They want to use a skill. So there are tons of skills. If you want to know more, and we are going to share this is the main page of skills, agentskills.io. Sorry, I say it in Spanish. And this also was created by Anthropic. Then they open source this, but everything is here. And there are tons of skills that you can use. And if you are using Visual Studio Code and GitHub, I don't know. Do you remember when we started to support skills, Pablo, in Visual Studio Code and GitHub?
Wow, not on code. I don't remember on code.
But it was literally when it became famous. I think that the next day the team already could and implement V1 or beta 1, and we have been using skills for a long time. So I can't remember when, but we have skills there.
One thing I would say is that if you're developing with Squad, Squad abuses skills. It's incredible, like how much we advance on software development with just like skills with tooling like that. Because wow, it changed a lot. Software development changed a lot. Okay, Renato, you go.
No, it's great. And I was thinking that, in example, we just talk about Aspire. So let me open the OpenClaw.net plan.
Let's see our OpenClaw. Yeah.
So remember that we talk about Aspire, and you asked me, what are those commands? What is the difference between start and run? What are the other commands and more that we have? So somewhere here in GitHub skills, let me zoom this a little so it's better to know, we have one skill that is the Aspire skill. And the Aspire skill is in a Markdown file that, if we take a look here, is going to basically define what is the Aspire skill, what is this have the description. So remember, sorry, let me move the mouse. So remember, we have initially name and description. So when we are interacting with a large language model or with Copilot with something, and they say, hey, I have any question about Aspire CLI commands. Okay, let's load that skill and let's learn more. And this moment, the large language model is going to load all of this. And in example, this is the moment that they start to learn about the difference between, in example, start Aspire. We have also start isolated, where you can start different instances of Aspire. It's going to randomly assign ports and more. It's all going to do. You have Oh, I didn't know that if you have Aspire Start and you do Aspire Start again, it's going to restart the app. See? Reading skill, I learned something new. So you have Aspire Wait. I need to implement this in the Aspire Monitor. I didn't know about this. So Aspire Stop, Aspire Describe, Aspire Resources. So you have here all of the description of a skill. And this is how you use the skill. So this is an example that you can use as a developer to, in example, use skills, to use Aspire skills. And imagine that this is all a files-based scenario. In this repository, we only have, in skills, we have a subfolder Aspire, and we have this. But we can install another one. So OpenClawNet. I created a tool for C# developers, text to image. So I created a tool.
Why don't you, Bruno? I ask myself sometimes, why don't you?
No, but this is all tools that I create to support our development process. So I need to
100%. I'm saying that you do everything.
Yes, but I need to create images. So hey, you know what? We have GPT-2 now in Foundry. GPT Image 2 in Foundry, amazing model. We have MAI 2, it's also the Microsoft one, crazy good. So we have a library here that initially I created for local image generation, and then I have here the text to image. It's called text to image, and it's also have the chance to work on models on the cloud. And of course, I created the CLI tool. Oh, sorry. Oops. Which is going to do .NET tool. I don't know if I have the latest version, so let's install it just in case. Let me go back here. And okay, it's already installed and it's in the latest version. And one of the things that we can do with this is if I do T2 is text to image doctor, is going to show me which images are configured here. So I configured here to use Foundry MAI 2 and also GPT Image 2. They are configured here. But I also have, I can do something like a T2I, I don't know. Let's do a raccoon in Sao Paulo. Oh, you're not in Sao Paulo. Let's do this general.
Yeah.
In Brazil.
So if you folks are noticing, I am at my parents' house. So right now I'm in Fortaleza.
Use pixelated style. Let's push it here. Let's do Fortaleza.
Wow, Fortaleza, Brazil.
And this is going to generate the image. It's going to take some time. It's going to call in the API. It's going to generate the image. By the way, I already did one step, which is text-to-image config that is going to set up the secrets, APIs, and more, so I can only use it. But once I have the image, it's going to take some time. It's going to generate the image. What I can do, it's also use this as a skill because I have T2 wide generates, T2 wide options where I can say the width and the height and more the size of the image, the quality of the image. Depending on the model, you have different options to do this. I can't remember which one is. We are using the Azure OpenAI API. I hope that we have credits, but why I want to have this in example later as a skill. As soon as it finishes, I was hoping that it's faster. I am going to create a skill. Because when we create these projects, when we create these repositories, when we are coding, you may want to generate images. In example, if you are creating a library, you may want to create a logo. And hey, if you are using Copilot, what is better than say that, hey, you know what? Generate, you know the context, you know what my application is doing, my library is doing or whatever, generate the necessary image to support this. So in example, for me, what I do with this, I said, generate images to support a LinkedIn post or generate images to support I don't know, Twitter or whatever, or the logo, and it's going to generate the image, and probably using a good large language model is going to generate the LinkedIn post and more. So with this, I should probably need to start to do this to add some images in our slides.
You probably should. Oh, that would be nice, 100%.
Yes. Okay. Let's add that to our to-do. Oh my God, it's taking forever. Okay, let's give it a couple of seconds. I am going to cancel it if not.
If not, it's just a credit billing. Bro, it can be a billing issue, yeah.
Yes, probably our manager is going to be, why are you spending so much, whatever? But what I wanted to show you is that, hey, if you want to use a skill, and there is a skill to use this text-to-image tool, what I am going to do at the root of my repo, I am going to do text-to-image init, and this is going to create two files. This is going to create in the .github/skill text-to-image skill, and also going to do .cloud, yada, 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 skills md. Why? Because you may want to use this in cloud code also. So if I go back here to our folders, now we have Aspire and text-to-image, and if I open the text-to-image, it's going to show me, like before, the instructions is going to show me the name and description first. And if someone wants to generate images, the model is going to load everything else, and it's going to have somewhere here the commands that you can use. So the easiest one, T2Y prompt, that's it. But you can also define the provider, the output, the width, the gate, and more. The config, the set, and show. So there is a full set of expression of the skills here. And this is what we bring to OpenClawNet. Why we bring this? Because where is our slides? Somewhere here. Why we bring the skills? Because they're very popular. Very, very, very popular. There are a lot of skills, literally those of skills. They are very similar to tools. In my head, besides the tools, the MCP tools are stuff that you can run on a remote server, but the skills you're running locally. Remember that this is an LLM that may have a script to run locally. And you have skills that have been created by anyone. So in example, I go here to the web. I go to skills. Let's create, this is the pirate one, the pirate mode that we have here, which is stale, enable, and more. That's why we have all of the... It's using these agents, and we have a lot of agents. So let's disable this skill so it's not enabled anymore in the AOI agent. So let's create a new skill to do, I don't know, excessive emoji.
Let's create like, it's a skill that the only function is to spam emojis for things you don't like.
Yes, and I need to, let me go here and copy some. I always forget let me copy at least these lines, because you don't need to follow the format, but almost. So let's put here excessive emojis and description. This skill answers questions using a lot of emojis. Oh, sorry. I typed whatever. So let's do some instructions. Main task. Use a lot of emojis. So I'm going to create a skill. That's it. By the way, internally, what it's doing, we can find it, is creating literally .me. It's creating a folder with the name of the skill. That's why you need to have these folder valid names to do this and more. And I am going to basically, in view here, I'm going to enable this skill to the agent that I have in Azure OpenAI. I can do more here. We can do this. Now that I have this, and if I go and install, did I enable this? Yes. So let me, go here. We have the OpenAI agent. If I go to chat and create a new chat and give me a question, Pablo, that we can ask.
100%. How to use Aspire better?
How to use Aspire better. So let's see if we can do that. I will assume that we are using the crazy skill. I will assume that we have emojis here, the crazy emojis, and let's see. Okay, we have 2, 3, 4. Not a lot of emojis, but
it is excessive, but it's not like crazy excessive.
Yes, but that's the idea of a skill. And
I love, like, it says Aspire as in Go setting.
Yes, because Aspire can be anything. This is
it can be anything, but at least it wrote like up there, right? It wrote about Aspire's like the amazing software.
The software services, an app, SaaS. Yes, because the other day I was starting to ask questions about Aspire, just Aspire, and it seems to be an insurance company in Switzerland or somewhere.
What? No way, man.
I started to say something. I say, we are not talking about the same as Fire. So
It's not the same as Fire.
this is something else. But hey, this is how it works. And by the way, our friends from Awesome Copilot,
Wow.
they have skills. And I don't know if we talked about Awesome Copilot before, Pablo. Do you
I don't
remember?
think so. We did not.
So Awesome Copilot is a super nice GitHub repo that have tons of stars, tons of people following. Let me zoom out a little. And it's basically a collection of curated resources when we are working with AI in tools like Copilot. But now, because AI is kind of a base foundation tool that we can use everywhere, we have here definitions to do agents or instructions or skills and more plugins. So we can use these skills outside of Copilot. So here, if we go here to skills, in example, we have skills to work with acquired code base, educational comments, agent governance, agent supply chains. I don't know. There are tons of skills here. If you want to take a look at the skill, click on GitHub, and it's going to navigate to the Awesome Copilot, and we are going to take a look at the folder, agent supply chain, and we can click on a skill, and we are going to see the full set of how this works. I literally don't know what this is skill about, but there are a lot of skills, and there are a lot of also public sites there are public repositories or collection of skills. But yes, as we talked last time, and this applies for tools and also skills, be careful, be very, very careful when you use a skill from the outside, because yes, these skills are text only. So you can have some LLM injection or prompt injection or whatever issue somewhere there. But there are skills who also runs scripts. Remember that in the skills definition, here in the, let's go to the format, there it is. You may want to script when the script may say something in the instruction that, hey, when you are going to validate data, use always the validate.py file to validate data, because they can run an example C# script, Python script. This is amazing / dangerous. Unless you know what the code is doing, you are running this in a sandbox and more, but be careful with these kind of things. So we have skills, and we have the chance to use the skills. And as we see here, there are a lot of skills that you can use and more. And in our implementation in OpenClawNet, we support the skills. And how do we support the skills? As you see, you create a skill and you assign the skill to an agent. I don't know if this is the best way. We probably need to ask for some feedback here, Pablo, to the team. So how do you want to see this? The skills should be per agent. The skills should be generally available to everyone.
I would like to be per agent for one reason: security. Because here's the thing: if you think about it's a very classic thing, folks. If you remember, your security lashes, remember it's least privilege, right? So
yes.
Usually it's the safer route. But Bruno, I don't know if we have time to do each agent for now.
No, I was thinking that yes, that's the best approach, and that's really makes sense, because if we make it available for everyone, maybe someone have a couple of agents doing ABC, but you only want to have a skill for a specific agent.
Yeah.
And if you have that skill enabled at kind of a solution level for OpenClaw, it's going to okay. Yes, it makes sense. I am not super happy with the current implementation of how you create an agent and how you enable the skill for an agent and more. So I think I can do better here. We can do better there. But at the same time, it makes sense to do this. And by the way, hey, fun. Someone said the other day, I think we talked that we have tons of tests and more. I find that because we have tons of moving pieces, we have tools, chats, skills, jobs. There are a lot of moving pieces here. So how do we test that everything is working right now? So let me show you something really nice that we've been working the last time. So let me go back here. Let me go to, and remember, by the way, all of the tests, all of the sessions, everything that you're going to see have some, in the sessions 3, we have some, I don't think we are going to do console applications today, but we have some console applications to talk about the skills, we have to explain all of this, but at the same time, we have here a set of scripts to show how we can do this, how we can, if you want to present this, how you can use all of this. So one of the better ways that I think it's really work like this is that to use a kind of playwright test that there are also can be used as demos. And let me show you how. So let me find one of these. Skills, presenter skills. Okay, perfect. So what I am going to do, I am copying here one of the scripts from there. I am going to paste this script here that is going to set up some variable, environment variables here, and then it's going to run a playwright test. This playwright test is the pirate journey. It's basically doing the pirate journey here, and is going to, everything is built, so it's going to be up and running. It's assumed that Spire is running, yes, and it's going to open literally here a browser and start to do this. So we are going to create a new skill. We have there the name, the description, and we have the Markdown body. We're going to assign the new pirate to the Azure OpenAI. It's a fictitious name. And then we are going to go to a chat, create a new chat. And by the way, this is my two hands. I am not doing anything, and I assure you that Pablo is not doing anything here. And we have this also answering, okay, run this as 2 + 2, reply with one short sentence. And right now, after this, is going to basically give us, matey, 2 + 2 is 4, or whatever. I don't know. It was super fast, close. But
it answered.
It answered, and that's a test. So
that's a test.
That's a visual test. I am running this. If you take a look, I am running this in the, where it is, I am running this with headed through, so we can take a look at the Chrome. Otherwise, you can run this and you're not going to see Chrome. You're going to just say test fine or not. But with this, we have, I can remember, there are 500. I can't remember how many tests we have to validate the functionalities. So if I want to talk about something and I don't want to do the clicks, that's one option. The other one that I have somewhere here, because this is all, let me close here. This is all part of the speaker scripts that we have here. This is the NuGet and the pirate journey. We have another one that is literally just cook. And it doesn't have the end-to-end test right now. Why it doesn't have the test? It should have the test.
Man, sometimes it happens.
Yeah, so that's the mode. But what I have here is basically said, go for skills that we have here, agent-specific system and more, and I can create a new skill, or I can import from using, why I can't, okay, so, I know why it's happening. So we can import a skill from GitHub, from Awesome Copilot, but I haven't here the import feature enable. I think there is something wrong with the skills right now. I need to figure out what to do. And by the way, when you have skills created, and you can filter by agents, so this agent doesn't have any, and you have here this one. The filter is not working. You can see that this is live, that this page is not working as expected, and I don't know why the import is not enabled. I may broke something there connected to Awesome Copilot. But the idea is that when you say where do you want to import, and when you have the location to import, it's basically say, okay, bring this, bring that, and these are the ones that you can use. And it's all, they are all in the storage location. That's why you can import, because we don't have a storage location. This is the third part to talk. We only have 5 more minutes, and this is probably going to be for next week. But hey, we have skills.
We have skills.
Yes. And before we wrap up, because we are almost there at time.
We are very much off time.
Yes. So let's move forward to skills, what we have, what we don't log, and what the tests that we have, and storage. This is the one that we want to talk and implement and show later. But memory roadmap, and this is how we are going to start next week and implement this. There are so many. Yes, when we start this, I have one idea. Let's create a vector database and do the memory. Because the LLM have tokens, we can have everything in the context of the LLM. Every message is resent on the tool. So how we can avoid this problem, how we can implement the memory. So we are going to have kind of a full history. We are going to have a verbatim of the last. So there are different ways to do this. So my idea was to create a vector database initially and store everything there and talk with the vector database. But a couple of things started to happen in the world of LLMs, in the world of AI and more. And last week, one of the most popular projects in GitHub was a project that was called MemPalace. MemPalace, fun fact, and we are going to probably stop with this here. MemPalace is a memory system based on files on your disk that is not using an LLM, has 50,000 stars. One more, I don't know why I haven't a star. The weird fact here is that Mila Jovovich, or I don't know how to say her name, the actress, Resident Evil actress, is one of the developers behind this. And it becomes super, super popular as a memory location. And I take a look at this. This is all Python, by the way. I ported this to .NET. So I created the .NET version. And the nice part about this is that you can use it in example like this. Of course, you can install it like a CLI tool. So you can say, hey, install, this is the current version of 0.6. By the way, it works and it's crazy, crazy good. No LLMs. Then you say, go to a location and say init, your location. This is called your palace. And then you start to say mine. When you do mine, you said, what type of files do you want to add into your memory? Of course, it need to be all, right now it's all text files. Markdown, CSS, text files, no Word, no Markdown. We can do it, but not yet. With all of these, you're going to start to do questions. Like an example, you know my code. How do I handle auth errors? How are the latest React patterns and more? And it works. It works really, really great. And it doesn't have a database. It doesn't have an LLM. It just uses embeddings. So I created this C# version, tested. It kind of working and more. It's kind of nice. Let me see if I have here some .NET build. Okay, I don't have here the libraries, but I also have this exposed as a libraries. So I am really, that's why we have here this coming, I'm sorry, where is the presentation? We have here the roadmap for memory, because I really want to take this approach for the memory because it's faster. It doesn't use LLM tokens. Right now, tokens are one of the expensive parts of the system. And it really, really give us something. So next week, in the next week sessions, we are going to see one implementation. Probably crossing fingers, is going to use the MemPalace approach. And by the way, it's going to be part of the resources if someone wants to play around, because it's a crazy idea. 50,000 stars in GitHub, works great, and it's very, very popular. And of course, using local embeddings, so we don't have API calls and can run all locally. So, and again, this is using one of the libraries, El Bruno.local embedding, because as Pablo said, I build stuff, but I build small pieces to help bigger stuff. So that's next week. And yes, we have demos here. You can do more demos. How bonus demos?
Wow, more demos.
This is the stuff that we seen today. I don't know, Pablo, I know that we are on time. Anything that I miss? Anything that...
I believe the only thing that I would add is that folks, stay curious. AI is evolving every single day. We're adding more and more things to this agent as we go, but things starts to expand. Like MemPalace is a thing that surge quickly, right? So you never know what'll be after you release the next chapter. Who knows? Maybe something crazier happens. I don't know. Mythos is AGI. We discovered
Yes,
like
and
that. We
I
never
don't
know.
know. Maybe next week we say, you know what? We have a new MemPalace 2 or whatever. And that's what we use and implemented. It's crazy. But hey, next week, deploy, memory, and everything in cloud should be. Everything that's the idea that should be deployed on the cloud. And we are going to Azure OpenAI. We are going to Foundry, other models and more. That's going to happen next week. So end of the hour almost. We want to be sensitive with Larissa, sorry. Hey, Pablo, I want to say goodbye and see you all virtually now for you and in a couple of days for us.
Yeah, folks, see you very soon. Goodbye and chat with us. We see you on the chat.
Thank you all for joining our session today, and thanks to our speakers. Here at the Reactor, we are always looking to improve our sessions and your experience. So if you have any feedback for us, we would love to hear what you have to say. You can find the link to our survey on the screen or in the chat, and we'll see you on the next one.